Alexandra, for this beautiful composition. Alexandra is a singing student at Jazz Music Lab, and now it's time to start our webinar. Hello everybody. Thank you, Alexandra. Hello everybody in front of your screens. Good morning from Vienna. It's 10 a.m. or a bit past 10 a.m. We apologize for the delay. Welcome from Spielraum at Gasometer, which is the main performing stage here at Jazz Music Lab. My name is Martina Nell. I'm the head of student services at our university, and I've got the pleasure to guide you through today's virtual event. So first of all, thank you very much for joining us today. We are very delighted that you consider studying with us here at Jazz Music Lab Private University. Together with my wonderful colleagues, I'm going to introduce you to, or my wonderful colleagues who are going to introduce themselves in a minute. We are going to present you our institution, Jazz Music Lab. We are going to talk about the study programs and courses we offer. We are discussing the application process, what studying in Vienna is like, how to find accommodation, and whatever other questions might arise. We want you to get an idea of our teachers and some insights from students, but we don't want this to be a rather mere presentation. So please make use of the chat on the YouTube stream, also on Instagram. Ask your questions at any time. My colleague will read them out. And we are trying to answer as many questions as possible. In case there are too many questions coming in, we are picking the ones that are probably of interest to the majority of you. In case, if for any reason your question has not been picked up, please drop us a line so that we can get back to you after this event individually. So send us an email, or we call you back on by phone, or arrange a Zoom call. We are going to hold this whole event in English, but please feel free, like the German people among you, please feel free to ask your questions also in German. If you want, actually, you can write in the chat which country you're from, or which languages you speak, or to make it even more fun, just drop your flag icon maybe. Yeah, then we can guess. There is one more colleague coming. He had a train delay and is very sorry for that, Johannes. So just whenever you're ready, join us on stage. Hello. Yeah, so let's get started. The Jam Music Lab. Let's maybe wait for Johannes to come on stage. Hi. You need some water maybe, or? Okay. So the Jam Music Lab is a private university for jazz and popular music located in Vienna. We offer internationally recognized bachelor and master's degree programs in music and music education. We offer more than 70 artistic subjects, artistic and practical main subjects, so basically all modern instruments such as voice, guitar, piano, drums, violin, bass, and so on. Also improvisation, plus you can study media music at our university, and film scoring, composition, songwriting, and music theory. The faculty staff at our institution consists of famous or fantastic international instructors in the musical genres of jazz and pop, and other genres, including Grammy Award-winning producers and musicians. And all of our teachers are performers themselves. That's very important to us, and they still perform. The atmosphere at Jam Music Lab, I would say, is rather relaxed and intimate. It's not a large institution at all. So at the moment we have about 150 students. I will ask Alexandra a bit later on to talk about her perspective, what studying at Jam Music Lab feels like. Yeah, just one keyword I really want to drop. This is employability. So for us, it's really important to prepare our students for the requirements of the current market. But we can talk about the prospective professional fields and the qualifications after graduation a bit later on. The first thing I want to cover, which is probably most interesting to you at this point where you are right now, is the admission process. So the main prerequisite is to pass the admission exam at Jam Music Lab. There's no need, or let's say Matura, or in Germany Abi, so maturity exam is not mandatory. We were forced to have the audition process online during the pandemic, obviously, and we decided to stick to it because it proved rather reasonable. So it's an online admission process, and what's very important to say, the application window is still open for a start of your studies in this fall term. So, of course, the earlier you apply and you sign the contract, the better. But it would be possible until mid-October, approximately, to still join our university and to start studies this fall term. Actually, the official start of this fall term is on the 4th of September. The first classes in your major subject, they start in the week of the 11th of September, and 2 weeks after that we start all the supplementary subjects. So in case you join us later, we will find a way to work this out. So how does the admission work? It's a two-part, it's divided into two parts. The first one is the upload of 1A and 1B. 1A is all your documents and all the required administrational stuff, And 1B is your artistic presentation in the form of videos. And the second part is an admission interview. So right on our website, jammusiclab.com, you just hit the Apply Now button, which is red or blue. Depends on which page you start from. And then you are guided through this whole process. So there are some documents you need to upload. Please read through all the information there. It's basically just your copy of your passport. If you have it, of course, your maturity exam certificate, also a CV, and other things you are required to fill in. The most important thing, of course, is your artistic presentation. So we kindly ask you to hand in at least 3 videos of your musical work. And what's really important to say is please do not, it's absolutely sufficient to take this video on your cell phone. So there is no professional recording required, no professional studio. It's just you or you and your band, or you and the playback in the background, whatever kind of music you're doing, just a cell phone video, and that's enough. The only thing that's really important is that you don't cut it, don't edit it, just send it to us with a decent sound quality so that we can really hear what you're doing. What's very welcome, of course, is a video of a live performance, because this enables the jury not only to see your skills, but also how you act on stage. So that's even better to send us a live performance video. Another thing I would like to mention is that, of course, you don't need to hand in compositions of your own. So you can hand in any jazz or pop song, any composition you want. If you can, show us just not one side of your artistic work. Combine whatever you're able to offer, be yourself. And we are very much looking forward to receiving your videos. In the second step, we are going to arrange a Zoom conversation with our jury, which consists of our teachers and also the rector of our university. And don't be afraid of that one. It's just a really relaxed conversation, actually. They just want to get to know you. They want to hear who you are, what music you're interested in, which music you like to listen to, what genre you want to play with us, what your aims are here at university. So we just want to check if your goals you have for the studies fit to what we have to offer. And after this conversation, after the admission interview, our jury can best recommend the most fitting teacher for you. But of course, it's also possible to send us a request for a certain teacher. So if you already have an idea who might fit your needs best, after browsing our faculty site on our website, please let us know. Yeah, so I think that's the most important thing for the beginning. All the rest, as I said, I want to do as a Q&A session afterwards. So whatever comes up, please ask your questions in the chat. And now I would like to ask our tutors to introduce themselves and talk a little bit about who they are and how they work here at university. May I ask Miki to start?
Yes, you may. Did you already ask me? No, you did. Good morning from me too. My name is Miroslav Mirosavljev, but everyone keeps calling me Miki. So if you study with us, you will also be able to call me Miki. I play guitar and I teach guitar here at our university, and I also have 2 ensembles, and I am also a dean of studies here. I come from ex-Yugoslavia, and there I started my musical career. And like all the smart people who grew up in 90s, I started with heavy metal, with what else, of course, and gradually I got more interested in listening to other kinds of music, and I got into jazz, and I came to Austria in 1999, and I studied in Graz at the university jazz guitar and jazz composition. Afterwards, I came to Vienna, and the life began in the most beautiful city in the world. I played with many people. I played in many bands, many projects. Some of them who are very important for me is for example duo collaboration with wonderful singer Shanda Rule, or my trio, Mickey Lee Trio, or Mickey Lee Band. It doesn't have to be trio all the time. And that's about it. About our school, I think it's a wonderful place to be and to study music, because of the openness of all the people, of the students and also of the teachers, for all possible, let's say, all popular directions of music. So if it's jazz, if it's pop music, if it's rock, heavy metal, fusion, whatever your interest is, you will most probably be able to find a teacher who could accommodate your wishes and answer your questions. With my students, I prefer learning mainstream jazz, but also if there are some people who want to learn something about rock or heavy metal or fusion, I'm open for it. And in ensembles, it's the same thing. Or basically, it depends on the constitution of the band. It's different each year, because if we have more singers, then we are going to concentrate our repertoire on maybe some songs that the singers would like to would prefer, or if they are more instrumentalists, then maybe we will go more into the direction of mainstream jazz, and so on. One more thing to say that I want to say is that I'm also Dean of Studies for a Bachelor of Music Education and Master of Music Education. So basically, I'm the person you need to talk to if you want to credit some things that you already might have. So if you have studied some previous universities, you may come to me, and then I can credit you all these courses that you did there, so that you don't have to take them all over again here with us. If you enroll, then, and if you have something like that, then you can contact me and we can talk about it. I can give you some details about that. And I wouldn't take any much more of your time. I would hand over to my wonderful colleagues.
Yeah. Sorry, I switched off the phone. Now, please. Yeah, sorry.
Okay. Hello, my name is David Dornik. I'm a guitarist and composer, and I play in the 31-tone ensemble Zielton, as well as various contemporary classical ensembles. Now, my main research focus is alternative tuning systems, like the 31 equal temperament or adaptive just intonation, and also contemporary rhythmical concepts, and basically how to make them groove and sound natural. That is very interesting to me. So most of the fruits of my studies can be heard on the latest album of my band Zielton. And here at the Jam Music Lab, I teach guitar and also some composition and theory subjects, as well as the large ensemble. Now, if you study guitar with me, what you can expect is that you will get the basics of jazz and popular music, as well as enough time to shape your own voice, shape your own style. This can be, of course, rock, pop, metal, fusion influenced, whatever you desire. And what is very likely is that you will go through my ear training course. This is 6 terms of ear training and solfeggio. So in these 6 terms, which is quite a long time for a subject, you will learn how to transcribe music only by ear, and also sight sing music using the solfege syllables. This is not only practical for transcribing, but for shaping your own musical style, your musical ability to communicate, which is very important in jazz, especially, but in most kinds of popular music. I also teach a composition and instrumentation class, where you get a basic overview of different approaches to composition and different styles, from modal composition and blues and rhythm changes all the way to serial composition and motive composition, like also like 12-tone music. So you get basically a very broad overview and also some basic instrumentation. How do I write for drum set and bass? How do I write for a horn section, and so on. And in this class we individually discuss as a group all the compositions that you hand in, so you really get one-on-one feedback for your compositions. One of my favorite subjects is my training rhythm section class, because I'm basically a rhythm nerd and we do some really challenging and interesting rhythmical concepts. In the first term we focus more on accompanying styles and especially the phrasing aspect, so like a D'Angelo laid-back hip-hop groove or some salsa patterns. So we really get into what makes this music sound like it sounds, and then we play standards in odd meters without rewriting them first. In the second term it gets more into the nerdy territory with quintuplet grooves and metric modulation, and also some contemporary concepts like morphing rhythmic patterns through the Fibonacci series, where you basically get you start with a basic pattern, and then what you get in the end is a kind of rhythmically challenging and complicated pattern that has the basic proportions of what you started with. Yeah, if you're interested in this kind of stuff, then yeah, you might be interested in this class. And last but not least, I teach the large ensemble. This is the biggest ensemble that we have at the Jam Music Lab Private University, and our main focus at the moment is the music of Frank Zappa. Now, Frank Zappa was one of the most genius and outrageous and ambitious composers of the 20th century, and we attempt to honor his music and do him justice by playing some of his pieces, as well as some jazz pieces by Mingus and Pat Metheny, contrasting with some Led Zeppelin, and of course I always like to take requests by students in the ensemble for songs to play, and I'm always open for compositions by composing students. So my main focus, I would say, is that in every subject I teach, it's perfect if you get an intuitive grasp of the subject matter, so that in the long run you will have the confidence to make it your own, to make your own decisions, have your own, you know, it's like, it really, music theory really depends on your needs and your aspirations. So like an Inui has a lot of words for snow, I guess. So maybe when you're really confident with what you're doing and you have this vision of what it's supposed to be, you might want to adjust and adapt your musical theory environment to your needs. And I think that's the kind of thing I want to show people, that it's not about wrong or right, but it's about having a vision and wanting to make great music.
Thank you very much, David. May I ask Johannes, not ladies first in this case, but let's talk about the teachers.
Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, but very short now. Yes. My name is Johannes Steiner and I'm a voice coach, voice teacher and choir conductor. This is my main topic. So, but choir in the way of contemporary choir singing, not like a classical choir. And I do a lot, as you mentioned, you used the word nerd. I'm a nerd for voice sounds and I really like that. and how can I create vocal percussion, vocal sounds, beatboxing, and use this for the choir singing and also with body percussion. This is one thing. And for the classes with the singers, I do a lot of work on story singing, how to perform a story on stage. That's a lot of things I do when you start to create, when you start to sing a song. How can you create or tell a story on stage? And yeah, and in this way, it's also important for me to be as a singer-songwriter, the process, how to get started and how to write a song. So now I stop, as I said.
Thank you, Johannes, also for keeping it that short. But it's super interesting, so everybody has an impression of what to expect from you. And last but not least, I would like to ask Peter, who joined us online today, to introduce himself a little bit.
Hi everybody, on my side, my name is Peter Gabis. I'm a jazz drummer and percussionist. My subjects here in the university is jazz drums, basically, and percussion, also ethnic percussion. And I also teach subjects like rhythmic and popular music, where we can get in terms of musical and rhythmical awareness. I think this describes it the most. What I do in my teaching, it is create awareness. I also led some research labs in the last years where it's about mindfulness and meditation. I designed a program to go into depth into awareness of their own thoughts, awareness of their own mind, and being not so much on autopilot and more in the present moment, which I think is in the musical field is one of the most demanding and important skills that we have. So I really work very, very basic. I'm also, my function in this school is also, I'm the ombudsman and liaison teacher. That means if there are any problems in whatever, if there's some problems between students or bullying, or if you have some problems with your studies, if you don't know how to continue, if you have problems by your own or private problems, I'm the man who you always can come to, and I always have an ear for you and try to give you the most, let's say, give you some possibilities how you can deal with these situations and try to guide you where to go with your needs and with your demands. So this is what I basically do here in school.
Thank you very much, Peter. So you got an impression of at least 3 of our great teachers at Jam Music Lab. Do we already have questions maybe referring to what the 3 of them said? Yes, I hear. Martin, do people hear you, or do I have to repeat your questions? Okay.
All right. Hello, everybody. I have some questions from the chat. For instance, from Sophie, for how long can I apply to Jam?
Well, as I said, actually, there is you can still apply until mid-October. So there is kind of a Nachfrist. Yeah, apply as soon as possible, but it's still possible until mid-October.
All right. So this already explains the question from Lara. Can I still apply for Bachelor of Arts in Music Education in the instrument voice?
Yes, please do so. We're looking forward.
So how does this work? If somebody applies for voice bachelor, if they're accepted, how is the process of the main teacher, for instance?
As I said, there is this admission interview, which you're doing with the jury, and depending on which style you want to concentrate on, or what your artistic what is Herausforderung? What your challenges. Thank you so much. So whatever you want to work on, they can recommend the person that fits your needs the best. Or if you have a certain request, of course, we try to make that possible. But I have to say that the later you join us, of course, the more difficult it gets to get the teacher if you have a certain request. So then it's much better to onboard earlier. Yeah, and then we just try to find the best suitable teacher for all our students. Maybe Miki wants to
say one
add
thing
something.
about this application, because you said it twice or three times already, that as soon as they apply, that would be better. Also for one specific reason, supplementary courses, when they start, and if you miss some, you will never get them. For your instrument lessons, it can be done in course of the semester, but these group lessons, they cannot be repeated just for you. So that's the reason why you should at least apply by the end of September.
Plus, another important thing is that for stage bands and large ensemble and
Yes.
stuff like that, people come together and form their groups. And if you are coming late, it might be difficult to join.
Actually, the application for these courses lasts until 30th of September. So if you come on 5th of October, you won't be able to enroll in these classes.
Yeah, but still, I mean, you could start, of course, doing your studies. You can always work with your main subject teacher. You can join theory classes, join the workshops, whatever. So it might be the case that you are not able, if you come only mid-October, for example. It might be the case that there are certain classes which you can't join anymore, but there is a next semester coming for sure, and then the next fall term as well. So.
All right. Another question. Do I have to study music pedagogy together with another subject, or can I study music pedagogy alone?
Well, the studies are always connected to an instrument, so your major subject, be it voice or any instrument, or be it composition or music theory or improvisation, which is also connected to an instrument, obviously. And in addition to that, you are taught like didactics and like teaching theory and methodology, and this is on top, so to say. So basically, the Bachelor of Music Education is more or less like the Bachelor of Music plus teaching methods and teaching theory, and of course applied teaching theory.
Because basically what you are being prepared for is to be a teacher somewhere in some music school. So you are going to have to play an instrument in that school, or to teach it, or to sing, and that would be enable you to be a music teacher, basically. So yes, you have to take an instrument or voice.
Plus you have specialized didactics also, because it's different if how you approach teaching the piano or how you approach teaching voice, for obviously. So I don't know, do you want to add something, Johannes, maybe, or does this answer your question? I hope so.
I think so.
Yeah.
Another question we got is it possible to study rock guitar?
Shall we say together? Take a mic. Take a mic and say yes. Oh, yes.
Yes.
So can you elaborate? How does this work? Because I guess you have to learn jazz, pop, other styles as well. So if I'm a guitarist and I'm focusing on rock at the moment,
Yes.
how does it look for me in the first semester?
Let's put it like this. One very dear teacher of mine told me once, if you know only rock, then you know rock. If you know jazz, then you'll be able to know everything. So don't be afraid of learning jazz theory and all of these things. Don't let that stop you. With your teacher, with your guitar teacher, you would be able to play or to learn rock techniques and everything that goes with it. And in some ensembles, maybe not all of them, but in some ensembles, you will be able to also to play rock music. Maybe not, or definitely not exclusively rock music, but there are also ensembles who play that as well. But some other courses are basically jazz oriented. There are also some classical oriented courses, so that's not to be avoided, and that shouldn't be avoided actually, because it is the whole musical education and the whole music experience that should be done, I think.
So it seems like we have a lot of guitarists in the chat,
Yeah.
but I think this also answers already the question from Ugly Pineapple, because he or she is asking if every sub-genre of metal is accepted.
Sorry, one more time. What was the question?
If every sub-genre of metal is accepted.
David? I don't know, what does he mean, like grindcore?
Yeah, so we don't do grindcore, but we do power metal, of course.
And speed and thrash.
Yes. No, I think it's not a completely different theory when you think about metal and jazz. The thing is, we will just find a teacher that has the technical skills to teach you this kind of music. And if you want to exclusively, like Miki said, do only this style of metal, then maybe it's the question if studying music is really necessary for that, because here you get a really broad overview of music education.
All right, thank you. Another important question is, are classes held in German or in English?
Thank you very much for this question. Actually, we're doing this in English today, but the classes are held in German. So what we need from you is you need to study German, of course, if you're not a German native speaker. Upon application, it's not necessary to already have a decent command of German, but at latest after the first study year, you have to hand in a certificate of B1 at least. So if you study Bachelor of Music, it's B1, and for all the other studies, it's even B2. Simply because you need to be really like confident in speaking German in order to get the most out of the classes and also your life here in Vienna. We have a German language school institution which is called Eloquent. We have a cooperation with them, and they offer classes especially for musicians, so you get the special vocabulary there, and of course we have special discounts for you with this provider.
So may I just a couple of things. As a non-native German speaker, I always love to say a couple of things about this. If you come to study abroad, I think it's a great opportunity and great thing to embrace the language of the country that you come to study in, and that you learn it not just for your like studies here, but for life. You know, if you go grocery shopping, you don't want to use English for that. We have or all of our teachers speak fluently or mostly fluently English, so communication is never going to be a problem. But I would really advise you to learn German for yourself, not for the school or anything. And there is also one very important thing. If you are coming from non-EU countries, as far as I know, this is one of the things that you need to do for your visa. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
That's true.
That's right, because it was like that when I studied here. I needed to do my German test within 2 semesters, within 1 year. Otherwise, my visa wouldn't have been granted. So German is very important from many aspects. Now it's different. It's not required anymore. Okay, but never mind. Learn German because it's beautiful. So David, please.
So it sounds kind of intimidating, but in practice, we are starting to really get, especially courses that are relevant in the first and second term, where you're supposed to learn German, to get English as the main language of some of these subjects. Especially we started Gehörbildung and Solfeggio, a separate English class for that, for students that are not fluent enough in German. And also usually when the dynamic chooses to have a class in English, like in some of my subjects, there are 1 or 2 students that just are not fluent enough in German, and it's a kind of small group, then this class will, in my case, be held in English. So it's really not, this should really not stop you from applying. You can always ask a teacher to repeat something in English. They're all happy to help you out.
Thank you, David. May I ask Alexandra to tell us something from her perspective, because she also arrived to Austria without that much German, actually, and everything else you want to add from your perspective, please.
Yeah, that's true. I arrived to Vienna 5 years ago. I could only speak English fluently, and of course German was a challenge for me, but it was not any obstacle for my studies, as for anybody else who comes from another country, you're very welcome here with the knowledge that you got. The main focus of yours should be that you're motivated to continue studying from different perspectives. So you're studying music, but you're also studying language. And I think that most of the important phrases or communication ways I actually learned at the university. So if you meet your colleagues here, almost every student speaks English, I guess. But you learn at the classes, and you learn the way the teachers are speaking. You just get to know this vocabulary very quickly, which is extremely helpful. What else I can add is that I'm actually doing master at the moment in vocal pedagogy. So I've been quite long at the university, and in case we might get to know each other, you can always hit me up with questions like where to accommodate yourself during your studies, how do you meet colleagues, how do you create music together, is there possibility to perform at all? Because this is what GEM actually, I think, wants to do the most, is provide you an opportunity to develop as a performing musician. That's why you can always become part of a jam session that's organized by the university, or you can take part in stage bands, and you definitely get to perform at the concert at the end of the semester, which is like almost the highlight of the whole study year. And I can assure you that this is a very fun event. Yeah, from my side, I just recommend you to be very open-minded and go meet your colleagues. This might be challenging, but you probably get to know some people who become your friends, as well as your teachers, who also probably become very close to you. And just go and build this trustful relationship. This is very precious.
Thank you very much. Any other questions in the chat, Martin?
Yes, about the master program. So Anthony is asking, hello, is it possible to apply for a master in music if I have a different bachelor background? I mean economics. But years of experience in music. And also, are there full scholarships? Thank you.
Thank you for these 2 questions. The answer to the first question is technically yes. So if you have a bachelor degree, you can continue with a master's degree, but of course you have to pass the entrance exam, which is also like you need to prove that you are artistically able to join the master level here, which is of course quite advanced. I think it depends a little bit on the instrument, but of course if you've been like playing guitar for example guitar or piano for like I don't know how many years, and you have your band projects, whatever, just no stamp on it on an educational just what's the name, like just from a university, of course, please apply. What's important to know when you apply for a master's degree, it's not only like the music education, but it's also like a research kind of project which you have to do along with your musical development. So already at the beginning, or when you apply for the master, you already have to hand in an exposé of your master thesis, which means that we need to know which topic you want to do research on. If you've already done some work in this area, just let us know which level you are at in this regard. So if there is something which we can build on, which you bring along, then of course it's possible. And the second question concerning the scholarships, actually we grant scholarships with a discount of either 10, 25 or 50% of the tuition fees. When you apply for studying here, you just hand in along with that your CV and your motivational letter stating why you should be granted a scholarship, and then it's the decision of the jury whether you are granted this discount or not. So it depends on your artistic quality and on your motivational letter and the reasons why you should be granted the scholarship.
All right, one final question is about the main subject. How many individual classes of the main subject are there per week?
So just for the numbers, it's at least 15 hours or 15 sessions per semester, and it's 75 minutes weekly. That's what we do at Jam Music Lab, and maybe some of you wants to add a bit more information on what to expect in the main subject. But we already talked about it actually. But that's, I mean, you can just arrange with your major main subject teacher, like the mode and the frequency is totally up to you. You can do twice a month and then longer, or you can meet, I don't know, twice a week for 30 minutes. So it's totally up to you. You just arrange whatever suits you both. So that's your last chance to drop one more question. If there are no further questions, then thank you very, very much for joining us today. Whenever other questions arise, please drop us a line on Instagram, send us an email to office@jammusiclab.com, call us, or whatever. You find all the information on our website. We are very much looking forward to receiving your applications, and see you at Jam. Thank you. Bye.